everyone, it's RuPaul's Drag Race. Corona can't keep a good queen down. So this is not part of the season. I'm including it in the season because where else am I going to put it? It won't be relevant to any other season. But it doesn't have an episode number. They told us it was coming this week. I knew that, and yet starting Wednesday I started checking for the sneak peek for Snatch Game. All week I did that. So I apparently have the memory of a goldfish. So maybe you as well were caught off guard. This is probably going to be a short recap because it's a recap of a kind of almost like a recap of the season. But there are some things I wanted to say. So first of all, I don't know what the deal was, but not all of the queens, it looked like mostly the white queens. My notes say Joey J, Rose, Utica, Gottmik, and Save. I don't even know what that means. Had this, like, it looked like lipstick on in their boy looks that was like a bronzy orange, and it was super distracting. Kimora didn't have it. I don't remember Simone or Candy having it. I didn't see Lala Reed, so I don't know whether it was the lighting and they were just wearing chapstick, if it was something, but it seemed to be that mostly the white queens seemed to have this orange sheen. Anyway, so that was weird. I had to comment on it because it was so distracting. Every single boy interview that they did, I was like, what color are their lips? What color are their lips? It was like this bronzy, anyway. If you saw it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't, go back and look. Yeah, so anyway, that was super distracting to me. But I actually thought it was kind of interesting. So I've been kind of curious about the COVID thing. I've been interested to see how they mentioned a lot of stuff that I hadn't considered. Like when you're preparing, it wasn't really safe to move around. So a lot of people I know in previous seasons talked about flying out to see their designers. I put quotes around that because I'm not sure if they have one designer, if they have multiple designers, if everybody has a designer, but that's something that I remember them talking about for, I think it was All Stars though. They were talking about it. Trixie Mattel was talking about when she got the call for All Stars, she was in one place, her designer was in another, so they did it all over the phone. But things I hadn't considered, apparently there was a wig shortage. I don't know, maybe everyone was doing TikTok stuff and they sold out of wigs. Maybe it was just that the manufacturing was behind. I know that that was a big part. Stuff coming out of China wasn't coming out, so I don't know where wigs come from, but someone can probably tell me. Fabric stores were closed. They said that there was one fabric store in LA that was open. I'm sure there were other fabric stores that were open, but they said there was basically one big fabric store, so I don't know whether it's specific to the queens or what. But online stores were short because, of course, everyone, you know, you had the double thing of more people buying stuff online with fewer people being able to be in a workplace safely. So that was super interesting. I hadn't really thought about that. They kind of ran through, you know, January 1st, what the world was like when they submitted their tapes, when they were accepted. A lot of them thought the season wasn't going to happen at all. They talked about watching season 12 finale and thinking maybe the whole season 13 would be at home. I would say that Candy has never been as likable as in this documentary. For me, I know a lot of people love her energy on the show. For me, I saw a version of Candy that I was like, okay, I get that. She doesn't need my approval. I'm just saying that I really found Candy really funny and they have good energy on this documentary. So if you've had any sort of feelings about Candy, this might be a documentary worth watching and kind of getting a better handle on someone who is not super freaked out all the time about being sent home. You know, they are in a competition. I am a hot mess and stinky because I have flop sweat when I'm nervous and in competition. I don't think it's the best side of me either. Just throwing that out there. They talked about the fact that when they came, they were in a 10-day quarantine in their hotel rooms. No phone in the room, no phone with them. They were all locked up. They were in a room with TV, and it's like it's a standard hotel room. There's a window, there's a bed, there's a tiny kitchenette and a bathroom, and that's it. They couldn't talk to each other. They said they got these little like envelopes, and they said they would wait all day for this little envelope to come in. That was basically like, here's your meal request, all of that. And they were there for 10 days, which makes a lot of sense about how maybe some of them came in a little even more high energy than normal because they had been locked up alone. I'm like, I hope they were allowed to bring stuff. So hopefully they I don't know, had enjoyed reading or whatever. They talked about being kind of touch starved, which, you know, is a good conversation to have about the fact that all of us are like, you can't go up and hug your friends, you can't do all that. So they were talking about that. I said it's just fascinating because we don't see a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I didn't know. This was actually super interesting when they did the acting challenge, and at the end, Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, I don't know why I'm putting quotes. It was, well, I guess it kind of was Jeffrey Boyer Chapman, because what we didn't know was that he was green screened in. Looking back, it seems really obvious. Like, of course he was green screened in. No one can get within. Like, if you see RuPaul's like 90 feet away and shouting at them. But it also answers a question, which I have said, is that I have never seen RuPaul. I said, he seems like he's in a great mood when he talks to the queens. You know, he laughs, has been like over the moon laughing at all their jokes. Well, then they talked about the fact that, RuPaul's also cut off from everyone because they're all trying to be safe. So I'm like, oh, so RuPaul really did enjoy this because it was probably the only time he could sit and talk to them. So overall, it was an interesting episode. It was definitely worth the hour to me. I thought it was interesting. I also get why after all this work they're dragging this season out, because everyone was saying, not everyone, a lot of people were saying, and popular opinion was, oh, this will be gone any second. But I think people who were really paying attention knew that this could take a long time. And so I think RuPaul was like, we got to get the most bang out of our buck. If we get everyone here and they have to quarantine for 10 days, they rebuilt the set so that it would be bigger. So I didn't know this. I'm not going to be watching for this. Sort of the center of the workroom is the camera area, and they don't move from there. And so then on either side they have tables, and so they had this like aisle in the middle, and I guess the queens had to walk around and stuff like that. So that was really interesting, but I'm guessing they figure they're going to get the most out of this season because it's such a huge hassle to do it. So that is the little mini documentary in the middle. Those are my observations, not many of them. But I thought it was really interesting. I like behind the scenes stuff. So anyway, I guess next week is Snatch Week. So super excited. Okay, bye.